This is because of the very early steps that were made by Georgian government. So it was late February that we had the first case confirmed, and in 2 weeks there were all the educational institutions closed in Georgia, and also soon after that state of emergency was introduced. Now the situation is quite calm here in our country, and as you see, it's announced as a green zone, and good news is that we are opening the economy, not fully, but we have almost opened the major part of the economy, and we are of course obeying all the rules. We are wearing masks and keeping social distances, which is a new lifestyle, not only for Georgia, but for everyone, for all of us, all of you. It's also good news that Georgia, maybe you know, is on the list of the 15 non-EU countries that the European Union has opened its borders to because of this green zone status. And as for Georgia itself, we have not opened international flights, but the recent news is that we are open only for 5 countries, 5 EU countries, which is Germany, France, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And we hope that this list will enlarge in a few days or in a close future. So more details on this: what are the challenges, what are the opportunities and benefits of lockdown? We will hear from Mr. Temur Bitsadze, who is the head of the International Committee of FIABCI-Georgia. And we'll have also very interesting speakers, which Lika will announce after my speech. Lika, now I want to pass the words to Lika Kardava, who is General Secretary of FIABCI-Georgia and also the Managing Partner and Founder of Property Georgia. Lika, hello.
Hello, Kate, again, and thank you for a wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar hosted by FIABCI International, FIABCI-Georgia, and Property Georgia. I'll just be very brief about our companies. Property Georgia is #1 expert center covering developers and construction companies, local and international brokerage firms, architects, and designers. The main goal of the company is to promote the active development of the Georgian real estate sector and promotion of Georgian companies, Georgian projects around the world, as well as assistance in international peer sales and marketing activities. Property Georgia has been an initiator and founder of FIABCI-Georgia. FIABCI-Georgia national chapter of the International Real Estate Federation, FIABCI, was launched almost 1 year ago, and till today we embrace leading real estate development companies, also city planners, architects. The number of the members accounts up to 26. Today we have, luckily, we have an impressive lineup of speakers to discuss status of green zone, investment opportunities, and lockdown benefits of Georgia. As you already know, and I can proudly say that Georgia is really amazing country, beautiful country, and its successful approach, as Kate mentioned, to dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic may make even more attractive in the coming months, as people all over the world are deciding where and when they can spend their time, travel safely, and invest safely. As Georgia economy gradually restarts, it has unique opportunity to initiate a new stage of growth. that is more diversified, more resilient and inclusive. Now I have honor to give webinar platform to our keynote speakers. We have Mr. Walid Moussa, immediate past world president of FIABCI International. Luckily, Mr. Walid has visited Georgia last year, and we had honor to host him. He can tell you a lot of things about Georgia, share his feelings and experience that is really precious. Also, we will have our keynote speakers, our keynote members, LISI Development, one of the green development in Georgia, Alliance Group representative, Temur Bizadeh. He is leading flagship development company in Georgia, and also, as I call Queen of Hospitality, Nuta Abramishvili. She's CEO of Shukhman Group. I'm sure that a lot of interesting things we can learn during our webinar. You are also, of course, welcome to send your questions or inquiries in Q&A session. We will provide, in case of your interest, we can provide you with the recorded version of the of our webinar. I wish all the keynote speakers, participants, fruitful webinar. And once again, I would like to deeply thank Mr. Walid Moussa for joining us, Mr. Nodara Deishvili, CEO of LISI Development, Mr. Temur Bizadeh, and Nuta Abramishvili. Thank you again for joining and sharing very interesting insights about the country, about the flagship developments of the country. As mentioned, all participants are open to send their questions, interests, inquiries in Q&A session. Thank you so much. Mr. Walid?
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening for some. Thank you for inviting me. I would like to thank first the energetic chapter of FIABCI-Georgia and congratulate its leadership and its board for the constant activity and the love and dedication that they have for real estate. As you mentioned, I have visited your country, Georgia, a very interesting country to visit, to invest, and to live. Georgia is, if we can call it, one of the hidden secrets of Europe, and opening up now more and more for investors and for people that have interest to discover a new country with affordable pricing for investors and for clients and users. If we just talk in general about the real estate sector nowadays, we've talked a lot during the lockdown period about our perception, what could happen, what are our vision towards the future of the real estate sector. Nowadays, we can see that a lot of things that we've been mentioning and predicting during the last months are happening. But still, what I can assure you is that the corona virus, COVID-19 virus effect is not yet over, and it's not yet final. And we cannot still say that or predict what will happen to the markets. Why? Because first of all, the COVID-19 have not ended yet. And we are in a transition phase where we are trying to open up our countries, and some are failing and some are working. So what is sure is that countries and economies have decided to confront the virus, and the way that we're gonna treat that virus or live with this virus will be different than the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year, the world have taken the decision to stay at home and to hide from the virus. It may have slowed down the infections, but then we can see obviously that the world have taken decision to change the way to deal with the COVID-19, and countries are opening up. And as you can see, the situation in the United States is very unstable, if we can call it unstable, with a number of cases increasing every day, but they're still not taking a decision to lock down the country again. They want to confront it by being cautious, by getting to adapt on it, health-wise and life-wise. So we're still in a very critical situation, even in countries that still don't have a lot of cases or have contained the situation. That is, for the moment, no one can know what will happen if they open up completely to the world. So in other words, what I'm saying, to get back to the real estate sector, because those things are related, that the COVID-19 is not over yet. And we cannot say that we are in a phase where we have passed the COVID-19. We are in a period where we are trying to pass from a phase to another. Hopefully, let's hope for the better, and let's hope it works out. That's from the first side. From the second side, if we consider that the COVID-19 is over and we say that we're fine and things are taking the right path and the normal path again, it is surely that the effect of this lockdown period and what have happened in the last months have not yet appeared. In the real estate sector is directly linked to the economy. And after opening up the countries, the reaction of people was continuing what they have started before the lockdown, which means that after 3 months of lockdown, people that wanted to purchase homes or were already starting to do a transaction or had a mind to buy, all together they came after the lockdown and they have purchased homes or they have purchased properties. So that's why the numbers were high after the lockdown, because those numbers were cumulative, which means that they were the result of many months of lockdown. Still, I think that until the end of the year, we cannot really know and predict what will be the future of the economies and of the real estate. The real estate sector worldwide, as we predicted before, have been affected less than other sectors. And that was sure, and it was proven that the real estate sector was affected less, and on the contrary, because after the COVID-19, we have two results, psychological and economic. The psychological effect was that people wanted to purchase home and people wanted to purchase property. And as we said before, the safest place on earth was home. And people, after going out, said, you know what, I want to get my home. People that didn't have homes have decided to purchase home, or the residential real estate sector was really strong on that sense. And we've seen all over the world a high demand. But the issue here, as I'm observing, is the economic effect. I'm seeing in Europe a very high unemployment rate. I'm seeing a lot of disturbance in the economies. So that at the end, if things continue like this, the economy can affect the real estate sector. If the unemployment will continue to rise in Europe and the United States and in other countries, at the end, if we like it or not, we will be affected as the real estate sector. We have been resilient, and the real estate sector till today have not been really, if we take it in general, if we can say the real estate sector have not been affected yet by the COVID-19 in most of the countries. Let's say most, not all, because some countries already have started by a drop of prices, like Dubai, for example. Prices have dropped 20%. But still, we have to give a general picture, a global picture, and say that the real estate sector have been resilient. But are we sure that after 6 months our sector will still be resilient? If we will see a big economy problems around the world and we will see changes in the economies, will the real estate sector will be able to defend itself and to be resilient with a slow in the global economy? That's to be discussed, not now, on the later months. And in my opinion, the last quarter of the year, things will be clearer. But if we take the situation now, things are good, and the real estate sector have proven, as we have discussed, especially the residential sector, the residential category, that it is very strong and requested category. There is no doubt that everything related to retail, to hotels, to hospitality have been really affected. Until now, this is affected because even if we are starting to open up our countries, people are not going for tourism. People are just now going to do the necessities. I have to travel to see my family. I have to travel for business. I have a house in Spain. I can go spend my vacation there, but I own that house. So the hospitality sector, it's still slow all over the world. Hospitality, restaurant, retail. And as we predicted, there's a high demand for everything related to logistics, to warehousing, industry, agriculture. There's more movement than before. And the residential, there's a rise in the demand, and there's a strong demand on the residential if we talk in a general perspective. Now, if we talk of what about the psychological effect, what is sure that people have been really affected by this pandemic. And yes, people want to be more healthy. They want, a developer wants to focus more into green construction, sustainable construction. People and consumers and developers are getting aware about the importance of our health and how important it is to live healthy and to breathe some fresh air. So that will affect and have already started to affect us all. And naturally, real estate, the conception of real estate will be affected, and people would like to live healthy. Developers would like to construct more healthy. The green building construction will be more and more. We will see more and more green construction, more sustainable projects, more development on the outside the cities. This conception of being condensed all inside the city will not be the same. We will see more. We'll see families and older people wanting to get out of the cities or being in the suburbs around the cities. And here, such a project like the project of our dear friend Nodar here on the hill will be a typical project for people that wants to have some fresh air and live outside the congestion of the city. And yes, we will see more younger crowd wanting to live inside the city. So families and older people getting a bit out in the suburbs, and the city center will be more for younger crowd and people that wants to work in the city, especially that. And there's a very important effect, very important issue that have happened is the teleworking, working from home, as we are doing now with those conferences. I can see Lika clearly when she smiles, when she agrees with me, and when she does not agree. I can see Nutsa that she's not very happy with what I'm saying, and Kate that is always positive and smiling to me. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that it works perfectly, because even you can get to see the reaction of people, to do your presentation, to work as if you were present. And this was a very important test for us in the business world. And we've succeeded. And even in my business, now I've changed the way we work, and I'm adapting more and more the online system. And being outside the city, living outside the city will give opportunities as well to people living outside the cities to have work and to work online. So that's the way I see things. And but what I'd like to conclude for the time being is that things are still uncertain. We cannot say that things are clear. We're still in a uncertain climate. We don't know if the COVID-19 will be contained or not. We don't know if this new normal will be possible or not. We don't know if the unemployment and the slow in the economies worldwide will affect the real estate sector or not. We don't know if people are going to get out for tourism and go to hospitality or not. So we are in a transition phase. We should be careful. We have to go up in the ladder slowly, in order to be sure, as we say, slowly but surely, to see where we are going. And what, in my opinion, before the end of this year, we cannot really have a clear vision about the future of our economies and the future about the real estate sector.
Dear Walid, thank you so much for your very interesting insights. I was listening, and yes, I do agree with the main points that you counted here. So there is a total uncertain situation all over the world, and even the real estate sector, which is more or less resilient, cannot keep its resilience if this situation lasts longer than we expected from the beginning. And maybe by the end of the year, this would be even a good scenario if we know what we are really facing and how we can measure this in time. Because I was listening to you, and in the end you said that it's even an issue if this new normal will be possible. And this is a major problem, because if this new normal will not be possible, it is against sustainability, resilience, and everything. And this will be a real problem for the entire world. But what's interesting, our next speaker, Mr. Bitadze, has a very catchy headline of his presentation, which is opportunities and lockdown benefits. And I'm waiting to hear from him how can we benefit from this very hard situation, how real estate sector can find opportunities in this new reality. Thank you, Mr. Walid, again for your support to Georgia, to FIABCI-Georgia, and we feel the support from entire team of FIABCI. Thank you again, all of you. And now we can listen to Timur and his very interesting presentation.
Thank you, Kate, for the introduction, and thanks to Walid for the very interesting presentation and the summary of the current situations, which is quite nice to hear. Today I'm doing the presentation about how Georgia achieved the status of a green zone, and of course some investment opportunities and lockdown benefits, of course, about Georgia. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic affects the ways we work, live, and invest. While coronavirus has hit the world, in a small country like Georgia, with a population of less than 4 million people, has proved to be a success story. Georgia has long been viewed as one of the most successful emerging economies in the world. And I'm trying to show the presentation. Yeah. Georgia has long been viewed as one of the most successful emerging economies in the world, but recently it is the country's successful response to the coronavirus pandemic that has been winning at plaudits. Fewer than 1,000 cases of COVID-19 have been registered, and around 15 people have died, most of whom were advanced aged and had a severe underlying health conditions of both. By comparison, coronavirus has been raging in neighboring Armenia, a country of similar size, and in Armenia the total number of infections has exceeded 26,000. And the death toll stands at nearly 500. Georgia and the Netherlands are also a good example, as both confirmed their cases at roughly the same time. But the Netherlands, as you can see here, came third in the latest Global Health Security Index, which means that, which measures also preparedness for disease outbreak. But despite that fact, in the Netherlands, there are over 50,000 cases and over 6,000 deaths. With that same index, Georgia came 42nd, but still they succeeded in that case. Some other countries like Azerbaijan, which is also neighboring to Georgia, they had 22,000 cases and 275 deaths, which is quite big amount. You might ask, how is this possible? And what explains Georgia's tremendous success in this battle for the good health of its people? The answer is simple: the swift and decisive actions. Let me go through the steps of coronavirus spread chronologically and explain in more detail how the success came. The first signs, as Kate mentioned, was the end of December 2019, and the first death in January 11th, it was in China. Other countries, also including the United States, confirmed cases in January 20. Here, Georgia started to make actions. They straightly started to warn Georgian travelers not to go to visit Wuhan. Georgian doctors examined all the passengers arriving from China on the 26th of January. In 2 days, they've evacuated all the citizens from Hubei province of China. And the other day, and this is quite important date, the other day they suspend direct flights from China. And this was mentioning because it was 2 days prior then the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency, and the Trump administration restricted travel from China. It was 2 days prior. So prompt government actions such as required temperature screenings at airports in late January, and also early restrictions of the international travel appeared to have helped to beat back the outbreak. So the government created the Interdepartment Task Force to coordinate the fight against coronavirus. And as soon as the first case confirmed from Iran, this interdepartment task force banned flights to Iran the same day. The second case from Italy, they banned the flights same day. And the third case, when it was confirmed, the schools all over the country were closed at the same day. As the crisis escalated in the rest of Europe, Georgia closed its borders and implemented the strong social distancing measures, closing the restaurants, bars, shops, apart from grocery stores, pharmacies, banks, and petrol stations. And the state of emergency was announced 21st of March. And after 2 days, when the new cluster was discovered in one part of Georgia, on 23rd of March, they hardened the nationwide restrictions. It was the intercity transport was suspended, the night curfews was imposed, private car travel was banned. There have been also heavy penalties for the individuals and the businesses as well. So while the Georgia's success in preventing the spread of disease is relatively easily explained, it's also quite interesting how they made this low level of recovery, a high rate of recovery. It's also interesting. And if you follow these points, the government set up a dedicated website and gave regular and clear briefings to the public, which means that there was little amount of spread virus, resulted in less infected. So all patients received proper care, and this was really important. All patients diagnosed with COVID-19 received in-hospital treatment, despite the fact of the gravity of their condition. So they were always under strict supervision. Doctors were always aware of even silent hypoxia, so they could deal with it easily. The use of hydroxychloroquine, this is quite interesting because in the recent weeks, the World Health Organization has suspended, allowed, and then suspended another time because the clinical studies of the drug were not studied. But the Georgian doctors have been defensive of their use of this anti-malaria drug, insisting they have observed none of the complications of some studies attributed to the drug. And I'm paying your attention to this because given our country's specifics, we could not use the examples of other countries. We did it our own way. Some decisions were made within a country, which actually finally led to a success. Whether these measures taken to protect Georgia's economy from the financial impact of the coronavirus will be as successful as those taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19 itself still remains to be seen. However, over the past decade, Georgia's economy's growth was 4.8%. Despite the numerous shocks that Georgia faced during this 10 to 15 years. The International Monetary Fund suggests that European economy, which is hit the hardest, 19 countries' GDP fell 7.5% in the Eurozones and 6.5% in the United Kingdom, and the huge countries such as Italy and Spain, they had 9.1% and 8% of GDP fall respectively. COVID-19 has also hit big countries neighboring Georgia. For instance, Russia's real GDP fell 5.5%. In Ukraine, it was 7.5%. For Turkey, the IMF estimated a decrease of 5%. And in Georgia, the economy will be reduced by 4% in 2020, which is much less than other countries in the European Union and the neighboring countries that are surrounding Georgia. The Georgian to see how government of Georgia supported economy. I'll show you some figures and the several stats. Georgian GDP, as you can see, is $15.7 billion, and despite that, the Georgian government can commit around 3.5 billion Georgian lari to batting back the negative effects of the coronavirus, with more than 1 million going to the welfare and the citizens and the social support. The measures to protect business and the economy will receive 2.1 billion, while 350 million will go towards strengthening the healthcare system and fighting the pandemic. But in response to the COVID-19 crisis, in the first stage, the government of Georgia implemented various measures to assist the population and the businesses through the initial stage of the pandemic, and there were several support from the government. They paid the utility fees to 1.3 million households. The bank credits was postponed for 3 months. There was subsistence, a minimum amount apportioned to the people who lost their jobs, or freelancers who obviously lost their jobs. And also they helped the developers and the construction companies with a phase of providing the subsidizing the share of mortgage of 4% to the Georgian residents. And also some businesses, they exempted from paying the property and income tax. Also, there was immediate automated VAT returns, refunds for businesses, and also additional government grants were allocated for agriculture and enterprise support. These are quite good measures that was taken by the government to help the businesses somehow in these tough times. And during the most difficult times of around 3 to 6 months that all the businesses all around the world faced. Georgia will receive 3 billion in aid for both the private and the public sector, and this is also the government's merit. In 2020, international financial institutions helped Georgia, and you can see the list of these institutions down below. In addition, Georgia also was the first country to reach an agreement with an International Monetary Fund on extension of the program, and will receive almost $500 million over a period of 1 year to assist some sectors as well as population, but basically it was the private sector. All this brings me to the international awareness and all the measures that was taken by the government and also the public was internationally acknowledged. The international publications such as the Telegraph, the BBC, and the Washington Post, they named Georgia as one of the most successful examples of dealing with coronavirus. So in Forbes publication, you can see it was named the 20 safest places to travel post the coronavirus. And according to European best destinations, Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, was named as the first first city to travel post-coronavirus. And by the way, Batumi, where I'm actually located at the moment, the most successful and famous seaside resort was 7th place in Europe, which is quite good acknowledgement. Also, the EU ambassador to Georgia also mentioned a few months ago that he cannot think a better place to be right now than Georgia, which also says a lot about the country who dealt with corona successfully. Also, some facts about Georgia that previously, if we don't count this year, previously 10 million international visitors are coming to Georgia, have been coming to Georgia so far, and if we consider that the population is around 3.7 million, it's 3 times more visitors per year. It's also ranked first in Europe as the safest country. As you can see, at the 6th place in the world, with the ease of doing business, and 1st place with an economic reforms that Georgia conducted. Batumi, as I mentioned, is also really famous, and last year it was called the leading emerging tourist destination in Europe, and almost more than 2 million international visitors we have per year, and it's 10 times more than the population of Batumi. So this business-friendly environment that is created within a country, also the stable economic and investment growth that we used to have so far, and the liberal economic legislation provides high return on investment. It used to be like that all the time, and I'll talk later about that in more detail. The property tax is still 0%, the low rental income tax, the lowest I've ever seen, and the ownership registration, which is also extremely simple, and it takes very few time, and the residence permit, obviously, when you acquire a property of more than $100,000. Georgia's real estate market is really interesting, and I'm gonna underline several factors why it is worth investing now in Georgian real estate, and because sometimes investing in a recession can actually be the best time to buy the real estate, because it's less volatile than the stock market, and we've seen the volatility of the stock market during these tough times and also during all the crises. But the smartest real estate investing strategy during these times is finding the properties that have a great chance for appreciation over the period of a long term. And if you look at the chart on the right hand side, you can see the capital cities of Europe and their prices, average prices, and the Georgian average price, which is quite low in comparison with other cities. But despite the fact that the Georgia's real estate market has shown impressive growth during the past years, when the pandemic is over, it is forecasted that in the next 5 years run, prices on new apartment in Georgia will reach Eastern European market prices. So for some investors, it's really time to invest now. According to the real estate professionals, foreigners see the success story of the country, now, how it's coping with the COVID-19 crisis, and are looking for earliest possibility to visit Georgia. And finally, this brings me to the final slide of my presentation: why to invest now. First of all, in Georgia, during these pandemics, much more people get acquainted with this country, and it really got acknowledgements from different countries and country officials as well. It got the worldwide awareness. More people have heard about this country, and which means the more interest in different sectors like tourism, business. Also, it's the safest destination to travel, and high ROI, which is hard to predict now. But if we take into consideration the fact that Georgia is a green zone for travel and investments, we can easily foresee it in the next few years. Economic resilience, while hospitality and development sectors are prior contributors to the economy, and if we consider that it will remain stable, we can forecast economic resilience. Prices are even lower than usual, which is greater chance for the potential investors, and we've actually seen the government's ability to manage the crisis effectively. So this is actually, they've actually closed the economy during the tough times to open it up now, and because a lot of European countries have opened the borders for Georgia, and we can benefit from it now. This brings me to the end of the presentation. thanks you for listening. I'll be back in a few minutes, and I'm gonna pass my word to my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Timur, for your very interesting presentation. It is really good, and you had some very interesting insights, and I'm glad that you mentioned about Forbes that said that Tbilisi is the #1 safe place to travel now, and there's also about Batumi, which is our favorite seaside resort, and it's worthwhile to mention that it is already an international seaside resort. And we have lots of international travelers there, and not only travelers, they have apartments there. They are individual investors and buyers of apartments in Batumi, and maybe you will tell more details about that in your presentation later that you'll have about your own company. Thank you. And now we can hear to Mr. Nodar Adeishvili. He has a very high class and let's say timely development now, because it's very green development, and it has all the facilities that are in demand now in today's, especially if we consider what are the new development trends in this COVID-19 reality. We have visited the construction site and also the development that is already constructed and looks fabulous. Mr. Walid has also been there, and we hope that when our country is open again, we will have more tourists in Georgia, and lots of international visitors will have an opportunity to come to Georgia and visit the new places, amazing landmarks that are being developed in Georgia now. Nodar, we can listen to your presentation now, and we can show the video that we have about Tbilisi development.
Hey, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank FIABCI-Georgia.
Tbilisi Development is the first development company in Georgia which is realizing 355-hectare urbanization around the Lisi Lake territory. The company was founded in 2010, and since then, it has worked on developing large-scale projects such as Lisi Green Town in Tbilisi, Kokhtamitari Resort in Bodrum Municipality. Of the projects is to create not only modern living style and refined architectural complexes, but also to establish a brand new environment for an ecological and healthy way of living in Georgia. From its foundation, Lisi Development introduced an innovative principle of 80-20, which implies using only 20% of the territory for residential and the remaining 80% for creating recreational zones and additional infrastructure. Over $100 million invested since 2011, hundreds of employees, and popular recreation and residential zones are today's achievements of Lisi Development. In 2011, Dutch development bank FMO became the partner on Lisi Development. Lisi Green Town is the company's first large-scale project, which comprises residential apartments, duplexes, townhouses, and private houses, villas, parks, swimming pools, and gym. Children and entertainment zones, open and closed parking areas are also arranged on the territory. Lisi Green Town is distinguished by its innovative green principles. Electric chargers that allow our residents to charge electric cars in the parking lot have been installed at the town. Rain collectors serve to avoid waste of potable water for irrigation purposes. Our customers save up to 30% of their utility expenses due to the energy efficiency standard which we have implemented in our construction. A 50-person team of gardeners and service managers look after Lisi Green Town daily. Over 30,000 trees have been planted on the territories since the start of the project. 50 square meters of greenery is defined per capita in the town. the standards set by the EU. Our mission is to create a safe and cozy atmosphere in the ecologically clean part of town, where all the conditions are created for a person to feel special every day. Our responsibility is to contribute to the development of our city, establish new standards, add more green to it, and create an eco-oasis. 2012. The company began renovation of lake infrastructure in 2012, sporting and children's playgrounds, open-air cafes, a waterway station for boats, and a new beach appeared on the territory one by one. Since then, slowly, Lisi Lake has become the most popular recreation place for Lisi citizens. 2014. More than 200 families live in Greentown in 2014. Also, the construction of the second district of the town starts, where, in addition to the residential houses, 3 parks and a swimming pool are planned. Today, in 2018, 90% of the second district is completed. 2016. Planning the Lisi Green Tower, together with world-renowned architectural studio, UN Studio. Lisi Green Tower was driven by centralnego kompleksu organizacyjnej, a na wycieczce działała samego kompania rozmowa i dać użytkową koncepcję, że funkcjonujące od procesu konsumacji sam się obowiązuje sobie wzięli do zachowania tego.
Dear Nadar, you are welcome to share your information and tell us more about the project. We can use your amazing video as a background.
Yeah, okay, so I think it's going to be better. So thank you once again. Thank you, FIABCI-Georgia. I'm very glad to see dear friend Walid once again, and thank you all the participants of today's webinar. As we're talking about our projects, we're developing at this point 2 projects. So one is the Lisi Greentown in Tbilisi, which is on outskirts of the city. And as was said in the video, it is developed by 80-20 concept. What is 80-20? First of all, 80% is used for the green zones and needed infrastructure, and only 20% is used for the buildings, footprints of the buildings. I can say that after the lockdown, and I must agree with dear Walid, that demand on our product, especially on Lisi Greentown, has grown due to several reasons. Due to the need of pandemic, which is first of all isolation and distancing from other people. So our project gives a possibility within the many green zones and low density development to have that possibility. So due to that, demand on our product during the last several months has increased. At the same time, we're developing with a standard project, which is apartments and townhouses. We're developing villa districts. So there is an increased demand for the land. We are developing land as a villas. We develop the whole district. So this gives a possibility to our existing and future clients to have more isolation and have a better possibility to stay isolated during the lockdown. Well, first of all, I would like to say that hopefully we will not have any lockdowns in the future, but I agree also with Walid that Uncertainty is the biggest challenge today, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and we cannot say that the COVID is over, unfortunately. And but hopefully the worst part is already in the past. On the other hand, we are developing the ski resort in Georgia, which is called Kohtamitarvi, and which is fully linked to the hospitality. And as Walid mentioned, hospitality is doing not so good today, and we cannot say the same thing about the Kohtamitarvi project from the point of demand, due to several reasons. Firstly, it is linked to the hospitality, and it is more investment type of opportunity, which is fully linked to the hospitality once again. When the lease is more linked to the residential part for living, and most of our clients are buying apartments in Lisi Greentown for living, even though that the rental income, long-term rental income, is much higher than at least 20-25% higher than the city center of Tbilisi, due to the reasons of the facilities that we have and the green zones and the concept that we have for the Lisi Greentown. As for Kohtamitarvi, it is a part of the culture, I must say, that it appears the segment of our clients are mainly, it's like divided like 50-50 at least, that the 50% are Georgians and 50% are foreigners. So due to this reason of the lockdown and not having possibility to travel, people are not able to purchase at this point the apartments in resorts of Georgia. And firstly, what I'm saying about Kohtamitarvi. And once the borders will open, as Temur has mentioned, several countries have been opened already, which are also green zones, and hopefully this will also change the demand on the Georgian market. And another thing which is gives additional hope for us is that the internal travel, which was much less before, due to the reason that Georgians love to travel all around the world, might have a possibility and give the possibility to developers to have a high interest and demand on residential developments that Georgia has. At this point, this is what I can say about our projects. If you have additional questions, I will be very glad to answer. Lika, can you hear us? Hear me?
Dear Nadar, thank you so much for interesting presentation and amazing video. I'm sure that after your presentation and after Timur's presentation, the opinion about Georgia became even more positive and even more attractive. And actually, it should be emphasized that despite the fact that now in this period we're facing a lot of challenges in Georgia and globally, hopefully these challenges will be overcome soon, and our country as well as other countries will restart and remain competitive in terms of tourism, real estate. And this is good that a lot of good things are happening in Georgia. We have amazing nature, we have amazing culture, we have good people, amazing hospitality. So that helps our tourists and the people who love to travel, to explore new experiences, to invent Georgia. So everybody who is participating in the webinar, of course, as soon as the borders will be opened is welcome in Georgia, and hopefully the real estate as well as hospitality sector will gain its competitiveness, and a lot of investors, small, medium, private investors will catch this opportunity to hold their properties in an environment which is resilient, safe, and has long-term perspective. Thank you so much for really very comprehensive presentation. Now it's time to pass the webinar to our amazing guest, Nuta Abramishvili, Hospitality Queen. I'm sure that Nuta's presentation will be really overwhelming, as she always do. She will help you to travel inside one of the most attractive historical place of Georgia and to feel the culture, real pure culture of Georgia. So thank you, Nuta, for being with us. It's
Thank
now
you very
your stage.
Dear colleagues, dear participants, dear friends, thank you. So I will try now to share our passion, our love to our project. So I would just comment before Kate will switch on that this is more than investment, this is lifestyle, and with the combination of everything what Georgia offers. So please, we can see. Okay, I think it's a little bit fast version, but I will try to comment. So for our participants and who is watching us from all over the world and especially from United States, I would say that this piece of land, this part is like Napa Valley of Georgia, and from Europeans' understanding like Bordeaux of Georgia. Why? Because this is Kakheti, this is a wine growing region and the most extended and longest touristic season in Georgia. I'm Nuta Abramishvili, CEO and founder of Schuchman Group. We have a kind of holding company. We are in agriculture, in winemaking, in hospitality, in restaurant business, and in wellness as well. And finally, in development. First of all, we are investors. So we come from Germany, but I'm originally from Georgia. But Mr. Schuchman, who is the owner, the main shareholder of the company, he's from Germany, and he decided to invest in Georgia. It was like 15 years ago when nothing was happening in Georgia in terms of tourism, not much, but in terms of wine tourism, because this country is really amazing with its culture, gastronomy, all the, I don't know, like a geographical location, and it's so tasty. And as Mr. Valit has mentioned, this is a hidden like paradise, and I absolutely agree with you, and I repeat the comments of our guests, of our partners from overseas, that this is a really the country is about to explore. Yeah, and with all the things what we offer. In my case, first of all, we decided to complete all infrastructure, to complete the image and brand of our company, to offer all the services what the guests need, and afterwards, of course, what investor is expecting. Because in the world, there are so many opportunities, so many investment opportunities, not only in real estate, but in some bonds or in some, I don't know, alternative investment companies. But people are looking for happiness, you know, only money, generation of money, some generation of some finances is not interesting. And this has proved, unfortunately, COVID-19. As Mr. Velit has mentioned, her home became our like castle, okay, and our everything. And as we are now looking for, not only as a developer's perspective, but for the normal origin, humans perspective, yes, we want security, we want environment, we want open spaces. We were in lockdown such a 2-3 months that once it opened, we have actually forgotten how to act in restaurants or cafes. Yeah, and you will agree with me because everything has changed. Now, this project has all these possibilities to offer the happiness, to open, to offer nature, to offer the leisure. Okay, and then we have decided to build. Alongside with our project, what we already have realized in Kakheti, wine production and all the tourist and hospitality services, we decided 2 years ago to step in, develop a real estate sector, and to combine what we have offered, what we have, in which spheres we have invested, to offer to the investors, to the people who are looking for that lifestyle experience, and especially who are wine philanthropists. Because I mentioned this is like Bordeaux in Georgia, this is a wine region, and as you all know, we are one of the famous wine destination in the world, and our wine production of Georgia began 8,000 years ago. It means that first wine was made here in Georgia and in Kakheti region, because 80% of grape varieties of Georgia of wine companies are located here. For these reasons, in order to combine everything in a short, we built the wine village. A wine village consists with 25 villas. These villas are in an absolutely unique style. We build with a kind of a handmade approach. We use the second-hand materials like bricks or stones, and these villas are part of our complex, of our touristic complex. And of course, we are renting out and giving high yield of investment to back to our dear investor. As Temo mentioned, yes, Georgia absolutely offers high yield of investment possibility, of course, in a normal period when we are not in pandemic or not in such kind of risky situation. Why? Because of high demand of tourists. In Georgia, we have 8 million tourists per year. This is more than four times more than the population itself, Georgians. So this is why, because in a small country, we can offer mountains, we can offer ski resorts, we can offer seaside and wine regions. So this is about experience, and this is about happiness. And that's why, so I'm very happy to introduce to all of the interested participants, real estate brokers, our project, especially for those who are wine lovers who would like to have their own wine, because in our project, and I will be not go in details because I hope by means of my dear girls, Kate and Lika, afterwards we can follow the questions, and then I will of course present separately the figures and facts of my project. But to give you a very small idea, this is villas constructed in absolutely unique style. It's a combination of stone, of wood, of Georgian brick. For this, we have created special furniture design. Nothing is copying, nothing is duplicating. It's a very unique style project. And second important thing is that together with these villas, you can produce your own wine. Because we are a wine company, we produce 2 million, by the way, here for your information, we produce 2 million bottles of wine, and 95% of wine goes to the export. So in this case, it means that if someone buys villa and if someone makes wine, we can make delivery, we can make all logistic and everything. So that's why I say, and I mentioned that this project divides in two parts. One part is financial, let's say, benefits, and of course real estate, in which every year the prices goes up, and in a so green situation, in a heart of vineyards, in a heart of fantastic region of Georgia, with a maximum 6 months of seasonality, and of course all the fantastic views and mountains are also picturesque there. So I think this is my project with a I don't know, like 15 million euro investment, so with all the infrastructure what the people need. These are swimming pools, these are a spa project, especially very interesting and very new and novel, let's say, approach in Georgian wellness. This is a wine spa, and for these reasons we have created special wine cosmetic, and the people can use this cosmetic and to be more younger and to see to look more attractive. And of course, Georgian gastronomy, and we are famous with the Georgian wine and gastronomy. So this is a combination of all features what Georgia offers, and here everyone can feel happy. Of course, with families, with friends, because we as a management, we are #1 clients and customers of our services and products what we produce, and we have quite good taste, and so that's why I can easily recommend to all participants who are dealing with the real estate and who wants to have a very exclusive project, very hidden project, because this is a closed project. We don't make any advertisements, so that's why it's a very B2B approach, a very direct marketing, and the rest of information I would like to have in a separate, let's say, mode. Thank you very much.
Nuta, thank you so much for sharing happiness and your happiest project. Really, you have assembled all the authentic aspects of Georgia in your development project, which is unique with its location, with its concept, with its building quality, authentic materials. So really worth to see on the place. And we have very positive feedback from Katerina Pilipchuk from FIABCI Ukraine.
Yeah, greetings.
I've been in Shukman Winery last year. This is a paradise on earth. So we cannot find best words for the description, for describing your project. Thank you so much for being with us. Now I have honor to give a speech to Temur Pitsadze. We had opportunity to listen to his very interesting presentation, comprehensive presentation about the country, about country's economic aspects, investment aspects. Now it's time to have a glance, have a look on the projects of Alliance Group, one of the flagship companies in Georgia, developing a really lucrative projects and quite attractive projects, residential apart hotels, which are associated mostly with international hospitality brands. I will leave other information to Temur. He will give more details and more information about Alliance Group's developments.
Thank you, Lika, for doing the great introduction on my behalf. Before the video will be run, I want to say that there are, in the video, there are 4 projects that we have at the moment. The first one, we've started the sales around a week ago, actually this Monday. So it's a very brand new project that we've launched just now. The other 2 projects, the Alliance Privilege and Alliance Highline, one is located in Tbilisi, another one in Batumi, and they are actually ongoing projects. And the last project that you see in the video, it is in Batumi as well. We've completed this project, and we are opening it in a week. So you're always well, once all the borders are open, you're more than welcome in Batumi, in our project in Alliance Palace, to visit us. Now, basically, I'm going to do the presentation of the first project. This is Alliance Centropolis. Thank you, Kate. We can run the video. The Alliance Centropolis, as you can see, is quite big tower, which consists of 3 towers. The middle one is a 50-story building, and 2 others are 45 floors each. The main point in this project is its components. It's a pure multifunctional complex that you can see anywhere in Georgia. And when I'm saying pure multifunctional project, I mean there's a lot of components, including the most important of it, not only for the city and for Alliance Group, but for the country, and it is the World Trade Center. This is the first World Trade Center exhibition hall, which will be located in the complex. Also the 5-star hotel, which we're not able to mention at the moment because we are in the process of negotiating, and we've actually signed the agreement, but we're waiting from the international brand to give us this chance to announce it. Also, the biggest casino in the city will be located in this building. And as you are aware of, as you might be aware of, Batumi is the new Las Vegas for Georgia, and because the casinos are very tolerated, and it's really easy to open these gambling facilities in Batumi. The complex that was shown, the first complex in the video. It will consist of the Class A business center, Class A shopping mall as well. Also, we've taken around 1 hectare, 10,000 square meter of recreational area, which will be located on the podium level of the building, as well as in front of the building, which will be in the Batumi Boulevard, and this recreational area will be kind of a park, private park for the complex. Also, despite the fact that it's very near to the sea, we're going to have 3 levels of underground parking and around 1,000 parking lots, which is also quite rare in this area. We're going to have top-class restaurants, bars, obviously cinemas, bowling, the entertainment centers, spa, fitness, swimming pool, the food courts. All the entertaining and all the component will be run by the international management, and all our projects are led by and operated by international management, and this is not an exemption as well, because all the components that is included in the complex are quite important components, not only for the complex but for the city as well. And I'll pay attention to the World Trade Center, which is the biggest association in the world in terms of MICE tourism. So there are more than 300 World Trade Centers in the world, among which one of them will be located in Alliance Centropolis. and this World Trade Center Association has up to 6,000 activities planned in advance, which means that on 300 World Trade Centers in the world, there's around 20 to 25 activities upon one exhibition, one week. Upon the whole year, let's say 20-25 exhibitions per year, which lasts around 3-4 days, and it actually guarantees the high occupancy of the complex within the whole year. And now when I mentioned about the green zone, when I was talking about the status of the green zone, I wanted to also highlight the fact that a lot of worldwide brands, international brands, are trying to open their branches in Georgia, and especially the World Trade Center will be the place. This is the international practice. Will be the place where those branches will like to have their own branches and representatives. So as I've mentioned, we are on the early stage of sales at the moment. So there are the first 100 investors have very special terms, and if there's any interest from your side, we're very open to share this information with you, and we're looking forward to contributing to the city, not only to the company, but to the city as a whole. And I'm pretty sure we're doing the big steps towards the international level projects to create it. And Nusa said that apart from money, everyone needs happiness, and I'm totally agreeing with it. Money is not a happiness, but sometimes money can bring this happiness. So these are really the projects. What you've seen, Dar's project, the Lisa development is a wonderful project for the living, and obviously for the investment which they have in Kohtan Mitarbi. And I've seen really nice pictures, really nice videos, which you would like to acquire to have the chance to get there. Traditional oriented project of Nutsa was really marvelous, and I've also been there, and this is a brilliant place. And we had a talk about why wouldn't you create some kind of villas, and she said I'm going to, and she created these wonderful places. I'm really keen on just seeing these wonderful projects, and finally our project as well, which is really brilliant, and we are all contributing to the economy of Georgia, and I'm really pleased to see these wonderful complexes created within a country. So thank you.
Timo, thank you so much. Well said. Actually, we all are contributing to the economic development of the countries, and we are proud that today we have really stunning projects to be presented. So in case of Alliance Group, in case of Nutsa's project, in case of Lisi development, we can say that you develop benchmark for the market. When we are talking about Lisi development, the greenest project with gated community, with all the infrastructure that is really needed for happy, healthy, safe life, everything. It's really, these projects are the projects of today and of future, because in post-pandemic period, our mindset has changed, our preferences have changed. So we now guide with new criteria while we are looking for properties. Safety, greenery, diversified infrastructure, and healthy atmosphere, sustainability is a key priority for decision making. So we are really proud to have all of you today. I would like to ask Mr. Walid Moussa, our immediate past president, to summarize today's webinar from his helicopter view. And also there is one question from the sales director of Lycée Development, Tina Quintradze, in address of Walid Moussa. Maybe I will ask this question and after you can answer and make a summary. So Tina Quintradze is asking, Mr. Walid Moussa, after pandemic, the situation that we are facing today, what will be the main demanded factors from the side of residential real estate buyers for making decision of purchasing properties? So this is the question.
Well, thank you, Lika, for giving me again the word. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a secret heaven, a secret place in Europe. Georgia is a special place full of charm and beauty, nature, good people, good food, good hospitality. So there is no reason not to be attracted as a tourist or as an investor in Georgia. And what's important as well, and this is an important issue, is affordability. This country is affordable and should stay affordable because it's one of the major points to be attractive towards international investors. I'm, as you know as well, the president of the Arabic chapter, and I've done some researches in the Arabic countries, and I know that Georgia is a very attractive place for Arabic investors from different countries. As I mentioned to you previously, hopefully we will be able to attract and to bring some investors from the Arabic region to come and do some investments in Tbilisi or in Batumi. Amazing project that I've seen by our Alliance Group now, this project that have been shown. Batumi is a very nice city on the beach. I think that have an amazing future. You'll be attracting new tourists, new comers than the one that you were used to, because you're working on the infrastructure of the city, you're working on new development, working on getting new operators for the hotels. I'm very positive about the future of Georgia. Hopefully, you just need this COVID-19 to end in order to see clearly again, to see where we are heading. There's no doubt that the COVID-19 have freezed in a way our way forward towards a good future. But let's be positive and see where we're going. So let's to sum up concerning this webinar, as a person that knows Georgia, because I visited and I know you are. If I didn't visit Georgia, this would be all different for me. I could hear and I could understand, but I could not feel it. So today, while you are explaining whether the beautiful project of the Queen of Hospitality, Nutsa, or whether the king of the suburbs, Nodar, or Temur, the king of Batumi's new project. So I'm confident that this country have a lot of future. Hopefully, we all know that Georgia is very have a lot of politics, and politics have a lot of influence on the market and in the economy. hopefully you'll be having the election soon, and the COVID will be ending soon, and we'll be entering in November towards an amazing a new page and of Georgia's investments future. I'm positive that 2021 Georgia, if the pandemic is over or we are in a better situation than now, I see no reason for your country to have prosperity. And as I told you, I'll be one of those people working to get investments and doing some investment in Georgia. As for the question that I've been asked, what is sure that people, as I mentioned before, I think that I've already answered this question, that people will be demanding more greenery. People will be demanding more balconies. People will be demanding more fresh air. People will be demanding houses that are safe, in a way, safe from any pandemic, whether it is COVID or other than COVID. Yes, the demand have shifted in a way, and Nodar have talked about it, that he have seen the demand rising on his project because people want to go up, people want to get out, they want their children to play in fresh air, they want to be able to walk, they want to be able to feel healthy. And whether the pandemic is over or not, there's no doubt that this incident have changed our behavior and the way we want to be. Without one thing now, even if yes, I think that we are taking our measures of precautions, but without one thing now, I take my distance from everyone. People have changed of behavior. It's not the same anymore. I don't feel comfortable being close to anyone. Hopefully this will change after this is over, but something somewhere will remain inside us, and that this is what will change our behavior and our demand. And yes, we will need more greenery, wide, open, healthy spaces. And it's very important to take in consideration in the future that people will want to buy more healthy apartments. In a way, when we say healthy apartment, means that they will be seeking more nature, more open spaces, more air, more a bigger window, because people, after all this experience, and that didn't end until now. Again, I want to repeat it, that we didn't finish from COVID-19. So, but what is sure that even to go far and to say that I clearly see that we will be seeing a change in the urban planning of the cities. Once we wake up from this pandemic, a lot of things will be changing. We will be really realizing how important our health is in our daily life, including our homes and real estate, and what we buy and where we want to be. So I hope I've answered this question. I think that was a very fruitful webinar. I would like to congratulate again all of you being here and explaining about Georgia. And I think you need to do more of this, because Georgia is still hidden. We need more publicity for Georgia. We need to let the world know about it, not only Iranians, not only your neighbors, but we need all Europeans, we need Americans, we need the Chinese, we need Asiatic, Arabic countries to know about the charm and the beauty of Georgia. God bless you all. Thank you for this amazing webinar.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walid, for your very interesting summary, final remarks from the perspective of Georgia. And it can be mentioned that you are our ambassador beyond Georgia, because you have experience, you have felt Georgia. And thank you again for your insights, for your professional remarks. And I do agree, absolutely agree that it's important to raise awareness about Georgian real estate market. And here we are together to reach this aim and reach this goal. We have full support FIABCI of FIABCI International Real Estate Federation, which is the largest real estate professional association covering almost whole world and main countries of the world. And by uniting our efforts and our professional skills and our passion, we can help Georgia and also other partner countries to achieve our goals. So thank you again for being with us, for supporting us, for being our ambassador beyond Georgia. And hopefully we will have opportunity to host you in Georgia again, and not only you, other representatives of FIABCI. You know that you are always welcome. Maybe Kate will add a couple of words.
Thank you, dear Walid. When I was listening to you and before our Vice President of FIABCI-Georgia, Nutsa, also mentioned that yes, Georgia is beautiful when you see it even from pictures, but you have to experience this. You have to feel Georgia, you have to come to Georgia to really feel the value of our country. And I believe and I hope that this will be a reality soon. We will have international flight reopened, not only for 5 countries from the European Union, but for all the countries that we had international flights with. And the government was also working on adding up new flights to Georgia, and this direction will be further strengthened for our country. This is my expectation, and I wish you all the panelists who also represent their companies, development companies, lots of buyers, travelers, international investors. And actually there is a question about this. But I will read this. We have a question. Please could shed more light on the implications of government pronouncements on foreign investors. This is for all the panelists, and maybe we can start with the one who is willing to answer first, and we can have 2 sentences from each of you.
Can I start then? If I understood correctly, if they mean the negotiations of the government with over 400 companies they had negotiated, including Nokia, about the FDI, foreign direct investment, to bring in to Georgia. As far as I'm aware of, the Minister of Economy is having the negotiations with around 10 large-scale and around 20 mid-scale companies to offer the business environment to them with the special terms, and to receive the FDI from them. And one of the companies, as far as I'm concerned, was Nokia, to bring in the manufacturing branches to open it in Georgia, which is which is a big opportunity for us because the green zone status gives us the chance and opportunity to actually attract this kind of high-end businesses and manufacturing, because the enterprise, and as far as I'm concerned, the enterprise Georgia was also involved, and they are doing their best to bringing some good investment towards Georgia, as well as creating the inter-company, inter-country enterprises, and also to support the small and medium-class businesses in many fields, as well as agriculture. So this is really will be really big potential for us to receive this and to achieve the negotiations with these big companies.
Thank you. So it can be considered like a new opportunity for Georgia to bring more international investors at the country with a green zone. Yes.
Indeed. I mean, if that was a question, because they asked for the foreign, they talked about the foreign investors, but if they mean about the other foreign investments, not like these huge companies, I guess that opening of borders, which actually the government imposed yesterday, we opened the borders for five countries, including the Germany, France, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, and we opened the bridge from to these countries to receive the touristic flow, as well as the investment flow from these countries, which didn't used to be that big, but actually Germany, the FDI from Germany was increasing here on a yearly basis, and this will be the good opportunity even in this summer, even during the Corona time. It is very important to make these kind of decisions from the government side to be able to open the borders to everyone, so that it was easy to make investments and to go there somewhere for even a holiday. And coming out from our experience of our company, actually it was really tough times during this pandemic for 2-3 months, but and nowadays it is surprisingly very good situation. I lost like 1 month. We've seen quite big amount of demand coming within a country as well as from outside countries, and that is why we decided to start the sales, to launch sales this month. That was the main reason for that. So we've seen some actions going on. We've seen some people being active, some investors getting interested with Georgia. So to opening the economy is the vital decision from the government side that needs to be taken as soon as it is possible, because closing the economy for some time was very good and effective, as we've seen so far. But open this new chapter for Georgia and open this economy for foreign investors, it can be the right time to make this kind of decisions.
Thank you. Do other panelists have something to adapt to this topic?
I would like to add one thing, that I fully agree with Timur, but along with the green zone, I can say the geographic location of the country itself makes it even more interesting for the investors, for logistics and for manufacturing. So along with all the incentive that the government has. So geographic location is also crucial because it gives a possibility to link Europe to Asia, and it has been historically like that. So that is in addition as a benefit of the country.
Thank you.
Maybe you can make some final remarks Kate, we don't hear you. Maybe Nuta will add a couple of words about the situation.
Yeah. I represent Schuchman Group, but also I have an honor to be part of board members. I mean, as a vice chairman of president of FIABCI-Georgia. First of all, so this is really great opportunity for our country, for our sector of real estate to show all the benefits and infrastructure what this country offers. And also to make new contacts, to have a new networks, new contracts, even with our brokers, because as Mr. Valid mentioned, Georgia needs more promotion. And this is also about time, yeah? And as now our government is concentrated on security issues, on healthcare system. So that's why it will be more slowly. All this international promotion and all this even the representative to be in a different kind of international expos and creation of events. So I would like to recommend all our members to be more active, and we can together make some very interesting panels, topics, and to have these kind of topics with all more broaden society, and to talk about, to promote, to have a new contacts, to get a possibility, and to make also a chance to foreign investors to be the part of our fantastic, let's say, country, Georgia. And finally, I would like to thank Mr. Valid Mousa that he's a great supporter, and as Liga, you mentioned, ambassador of Georgia, and this is a big power for us, and a big power of FIABCI-Georgia, because you are staying with us, you are not going far, and I think together we can achieve more and more things. And here we value all these kind of issues. And I can say on behalf of all the sector or our members, big thanks, and also wish you all success and prosperity in your business, and to all our panelists businesses as well, because they are doing a great job. They are doing fantastic properties, and this is very valuable. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. We'll say goodbye on this positive pattern. We wish you all the success to all participants, prosperity, new projects, and happiness.
Thank you all.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
And I'd like to say that I'm very happy and proud because the project that we showed today, and also some other projects that we'll be showing next time, are like promoting Georgia and their high-class developments. And with this, we're proud of our country, not only our projects that are being built here, but of our country. And we are writing a new history for Georgia. And I hope that this will be a success, as we are in lots of directions. And I'd like to thank all of you, and especially for this webinar to Mr. Pitsadze, who was the initiator of doing this webinar, Status of Green Zone of Georgia. And I believe that he will have some more interesting activities, webinars, and also other activities that will promote Georgia within the network of FIABCI and worldwide. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thanks again. Bye.